Hello, Libras, and welcome to this, your May 1st through May 15th reading and predictions. For those of you who are new here, thank you so much for trusting and clicking on this video. And for those of you who are returning, thank you so much for continuing to support this channel. Let's dive right into your reading. The last reading that I did for you, covering the time frame from April 15th through April 30th, the cards indicated that you were working on something new, you were working on birthing something new out into the world, but there was some question as to whether you were doing it for someone else or whether you were doing it because you were passionate about it. And the cards indicated that really what you need to be doing at this time, Libra, is following your passions. What are you passionate about? If you're not sure about that, the cards also had an answer for you there and asked you to dive deeply into a meditative practice, some type of practice wherein you were going to be able to quiet the chatter from outside and be able to tap deeply into yourself. So let's dive right in. The first cards that we're going to pull for you are going to be where you are at now, and I do want to just ask if you wouldn't mind watching all the way through until the end. I do have a surprise for you at the end, wherein I'm going to pull cards from my little itty bitty yes no deck. The only cards in that deck have yes no answers on them, and we all have questions. So if you're willing to put your trust in a general reading and you have a question that needs an answer, stick around all the way till the end. All right, Libra, I do have one card that has popped out here for you for where you are at now. And everything else has fallen back into the deck. So let's take a look. Ooh, you're stuck in your mind. You're mulling things over and over and over again. And you're not really getting to where you need to be. You're caught up in in thought as opposed to tapping into intuition and your heart center. So let's dive into what you are focusing on bringing to light coming in May. What is it that you are thinking about? And as we all know, what we think about, we manifest. Now, there's quite a number of cards that are tumbling out of this deck and jumping out. So I'm going to collect up the smaller portion of the deck here and see if we can narrow things down. Because if you are focusing on this much which really, with the first card that came out here, this mind card coming out for you, Libra, it's not surprising in your focus to have just a mound of cards come out, because this is an indication that your mind is really busy, and so perhaps you're not focusing and narrowing things down. And as I mentioned, your last reading also indicated that you needed to slow down enough to be able to determine exactly what it is that you are passionate about. You've got all this chatter going on in your mind. And when we've got so much chatter going on in our minds, we really can't dive deeply into who we are and what it is that we want. So let's see what the cards are saying with regards to what you are focusing on. And perhaps for some of you, this might help to narrow things down as well and give you a little bit more direction. The cards, when we pull cards for this portion, sometimes they can help us to find our direction as well if we're a little too scattered and caught up in our minds. So I do have 3 cards that have jumped out for you. Page of Pentacles, 3 of Swords, and 6 of Cups. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so the Page of Pentacles, anytime we see a page in the tarot, pages are a little bit naive. They have a tendency to be spontaneous. Um, and so, with regards to your finances, because this is the Page of Pentacles, with regards to your finances, one of the things that you are focusing on is trying to manifest something rather quickly, some financial gain rather quickly. The caveat or the downside to any pages that come up is that they are young and they are naive, and sometimes they can jump into something that is too good to be true. And oftentimes, if we're looking to manifest money quickly or finances quickly, we can get caught up in the trap of something that may be too good to be true. So just be on the lookout for that. This is indicating that one of your focuses right now is working towards manifesting some more financial abundance in your life, but just be on the lookout for something that might be too good. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, there's so much of that going on the internet right now. So just be wary of anyone that is promising, oh, take my course and you can be making $1,000 a week, or $1,000 a day by next week. Just be wary of that type of thing when you're focusing on making some more money quickly. You have the Three of Swords here. Now, the Three of Swords is almost always depicted as a broken heart or a heart with three swords put through it. It is a difficult card because it's an indication that we're trying to let go of an emotional attachment, something that is pulling on our heartstrings, and it's difficult for us to let go of. It's necessary for us to let go of, and yet, it's still hard. And that also brings me into the Six of Cups here. And the Six of Cups is a card of nostalgia. It is the card of remembering the past and remembering how good the past was and just getting those rosy feelings. The downside of the Six of Cups is perhaps remembering the past and then wanting to go back to the past, putting on our rose-colored glasses and thinking, oh, maybe the past wasn't so bad. I could just go back, call up an ex. No. So it's okay to be nostalgic and remember the past and perhaps even focus on the past, because one of the ways that we let go of the past is to remember it, bring those emotions up, work through them, and then release them. And it is through that process that we are able to move forward into this Page of Pentacles. And it's also a way for us to get out of this scattered mind that is coming up. Let's dive into your difficult influences. Difficult influences and challenges for Libra for early May. Oh my. We've got a few cards coming out here. Maybe that's it. Yeah, that's okay. So these two cards came out afterwards. Okay. So the first card that came out in your difficult influences is the Nine of Winter. This card is also known as the Nine of Swords. And this is a card that I call the catastrophism card. This is the card of lying awake in bed at night, worry, 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 chatter going on in the mind. Remind you of your first card in your reading here, Libra? Yeah. So this is in your difficult influences. We know that where where we put our attention, where we put our thoughts, eventually begins to manifest. So if you're putting your thoughts into lying awake in bed at night worrying, then the universe is going to send you more things to worry about. So the sooner that you can release this, the better. Libra, the next card that you have in your difficult influences is the Three of Winter. Guess what? This card corresponds to the Three of Swords, which you also have here in your focus. This is your double confirmation that you are definitely working on releasing some emotional attachments at this time. And you're kind of bumping into that and struggling up against it. Obviously, you're focusing on doing that, and yet you're also struggling with being able to let go of the past. The next card you have is a positive card, the Six of Spring. It is about positive news being on the way to you. Now, it's interesting that over here you have the 3 and you have the 6. You have the 3 and the 6. And here you have the 9 and the 3, and now you have a 6 as well. So you have 3, 6, 9 prominently here. I would say, Libra, it's going to be important for you to pay attention to the 3rd, the 6th, and the 9th of May, but also pay attention to the frequencies around 369 if you have not gone down the rabbit hole of looking into Nikola Tesla's theories about 369, those 3 specific numbers. You know, some people say that Nikola Tesla was just a crazy obsessive compulsive. But he did things, everything he did was in 3s, 6s, or 9s. And he was actually pretty brilliant, and he tapped into some pretty strong, powerful, um, what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, he had the capacity to tap into energies that were world changing. So the fact that you've got a 3, a 6, and a 9 coming up in your challenges is an indication, and you've got the mind card coming in here. You've got the 3 of Swords twice. It's an indication that the frequency that you are currently resonating on, Libra, is not in alignment with your passions and your direction and what you are meant to be doing right now. There's something that has distracted you from being able to move forward on your path. And when you become realigned, and like I said, look into 369, look into frequencies at 369 hertz. Also, you might want to check out 432 hertz. It's changing. Go down that rabbit hole. It's wonderful. But you have the 6 of Spring coming up in your difficult influences. The 6 of Spring is about success being rained down upon you and good things coming your way. However, this is coming up in your difficult influences. So, what this is saying is that there are good things on their way to you, right? But not right now. They're being postponed, they're being put aside, and they're probably being put aside because you are in the process of working through letting go of an emotional attachment with these 2, 3 of Swords that have come in. And finally, in your difficult influences, I'm just going to move this card back over here. In your difficult influences, you have the 10 of Autumn. Now, the 10 of Autumn corresponds to the 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles is a card of set money aside for a rainy day. Whether you're Canadian, that's your RRSPs, whether that is uh, an American 401k, whatever the case may be, whether it's just a savings account, whatever it looks like for you to save for a rainy day. Disclaimer, I'm not a certified financial advisor. This is not formal financial advice. This is sound common sense. Set some money aside for a rainy day. That's coming up for you. And it is in your difficult influences, Libra, indicating that you may be bumping into this. And that explains why you have the Page of Pentacles coming in for what you're focusing on. You're focusing on manifesting additional abundance so that you can afford to be able to put money away for a rainy day. Let's dive into messages from the universe. So, the first message from the universe is you are here for a reason. You are here for a reason. And you know what the reason is? Love is your energy. That is the second message from the universe. Beautiful, lovely, amazing. Sometimes when we get caught up in our mind, when we're trying to release some emotional attachments, when We're not in alignment with the frequency that we're supposed to be aligned with because we haven't found our passion or we've lost our way a little bit. We forget that we're here for a reason. It falls by the wayside. Sometimes we get caught up so much in our everyday lives that we forget our purpose. So tap back into that, Libra. That's what you're being called upon to do. And love is your energy. Let's dive into your unexpected. What's coming up in unexpected for you? I'm going back over here to the Osho Zen. Unexpected. There we go. There's an answer for us. We have the King of Swords. You have a lot of swords coming out right now, Libra. King of Swords is about control. It's about wanting to always be in control. But when we have emotional attachments that we need to let go of, guess what? It makes us feel like we're not in control. So, this is the King of Swords. So, the King of Swords is actually not just about control. Anytime a king appears in the tarot, there is also the aspect that kings like to bring us excuse me, advice or wisdom. The king has achieved the throne because he's very knowledgeable. So, this king of swords, not only does he like to be in control and maintain the perception that he is in control, this king also likes to bring advice. The advice that this king brings, though, is often delivered because he's the intellectual king. He's very connected to the mind. The mind. This king brings advice that you oftentimes need to hear, but you don't necessarily want to hear that advice. So, in your unexpected, watch for trying to control a situation that is not exactly within your control, Libra, and watch for some advice that you need, but you don't necessarily want to hear it at this time. And also in your unexpected, this card is actually not unexpected in your unexpected, and that is the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is about letting go and walking away from something that's no longer serving your highest good. And you already have that indicated by the two, Three of Swords that have come up here. So there is absolutely some kind of emotional attachment that you need to release and let go of, Libra. All right, let's dive into your final general overall outcome. Where are we going? Getting pulled over here. Final general overall outcome for Libra, and then we're going to pull your yes, no cards. Final general overall outcome for Libra. I'm going to end up going through the deck a second time. Let's go through the deck again. Final general overall outcome. Is there anything else for Libra? Anything else? Yep, there we go. All right, let's get these cards turned over. Okay. In your final general overall outcome, Libra, you have the Death card, Death and Rebirth. Okay, this is absolutely about rejuvenation, letting go of something so that it can make space in your life for a rebirth and for something new to come in order to be able to let go. With this Three of Swords coming in, the Judgment card is coming up as well. Now, the Judgment card is not about you sitting in judgment of others, it's about you sitting in judgment of yourself. What has worked for me? What is not working for me? Why am I so emotionally attached to this that I cannot seem to let go of it? I know that I need to let go of it because when I do, there is a rebirth that can happen for me. But I just haven't been able to let go yet. These are the explorations that you need to do in order to be able to move on and move into this Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is about a brand new beginning. So, Libras, you've got a little bit of work to do. You've got some releasing to do. Pay attention to 369 and yeah, work through this emotional release, whatever that looks like for you. And I do want to point out the image on this particular card. And I mean, I'm working with 5 different tarot decks. Each tarot deck has 78 cards in it. And for whatever reason, I was called to pull this particular judgment card because there's an indication here that you need to release an emotional attachment. Look at the image on the card closely. This person is absolutely releasing judgment and letting go of something. And you also have this card, letting go. So there's absolutely something there that you need to let go of. And when you do, the cards are indicating a new beginning for you, a rebirth and a new beginning. All right, Libras, bring to mind your yes/no question. Begin to formulate that question in your mind. I'm going to pull the cards in just a moment, but first of all, if this reading resonated deeply for you, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel so that you receive notifications every time I post a new video. It really does help. And as well, if you would like a personal reading, all of my contact details are down below. All right. Yes, no question for Libra. Help us to answer the question, please, by giving us one card. One card for Libra. One yes/no card. That is not one card. That would be 3. We're going to go through the deck again. One card, please. Just one. One card for Libra. Okay. Libra, in response to your question, the answer is reconsider. Reconsider. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Please allow me the honor of doing your next reading in the middle of May.